What's up guys, it's your bro Richie here again. Today in this video, it is now the final part of this. Today in this video is now officially part 5 on the Chevy El Camino. So part 5 on the Chevy El Camino, and today I'll be talking to you about the final version of this car, well, truck. So today I'll be talking to you all about the Gen 5. So Gen 5 El Camino. So before I start this off, make sure you guys all like the video, subscribe, like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you literally want to make a brand new uploads. Okay, so it's over a minute, so without any further ado, let's finish this. So the Gen 5 El Camino from 1978 to 1987. Here we go. So overviews first, let's do it. So model years is from 78 to 87. So model years is from 78 to 87. Assembly was at these 6 locations. 4 of them are in the US. One of them is from Mexico. Hold on, wait. So 4 of them are from the States. One of them is from Mexico. The other one is from Iran. So the first location was at the Arlington Assembly in the city of Arlington, Tarrant County, Texas. So Arlington Assembly for 1978 to 1984 in Arlington, Tarrant County, Texas. So it's from 1978 to 1984. Next we got the Doraville Assembly from the city of Doraville in DeKalb County, Georgia. So Doraville Assembly from 1978 to 1981. Doraville, DeKalb County, Georgia. Then we got the Fremont Assembly, also from 1978 to 1981, in Fremont, Alameda County, California. And then we got the Leeds Assembly from 1978 to 1980. So the Leeds Assembly in Leeds, Kansas City, Missouri, from 1978 to 1980. So from 1978 to 1980. Now we got the next one, which is the Ramos Arizpe Assembly from 1985 to 1987. And it's at Ramos Arizpe. So Ramos, in the town of Ramos Arizpe in Coahuila, Mexico. In Coahuila, can't pronounce it, Mexico. So it's at the Ramos Arizpe Assembly from 1985 to 1987. And last but certainly not the very least, we got another one in Tehran, which is in Iran, by CKD Pars Khodro. I can't pronounce it correctly. Body and chassis next. Platforms, there's 2 types. There's an A body and a G body. So the A body was from 1978 to 1981. So that's the A body. Then we got the G body A body 78 to 81, and then a G body from 1982 to 19, and then a G body from 1982, so from 1982 to 1987. And it's related to the Chevy Monte Carlo, Chevy Monte Carlo, Chevy Malibu. So Chevy Monte Carlo, Chevy Malibu, and the GMC Caballero. Powertrain is next. So for the engines, we've got two Chevy V6s. So two Chevy. So we got the first few. So we got 8 engines. 50% of them are V6s, 50% are V8s. So for the V6s, we got a 3.3 liter 200 Chevy, a 3.8 liter 230 Chevy, and the same engine but a Buick. Then we got a 4.3 liter 262 Chevy, so 4.3 liter 262, so 4.3 liter 262 Chevy V6. And then for the V8s, we got a 4.4 liter 267, a 5 liter 305, and a 5.7 liter 350. So all these three are small block V8s. And we got another 5.7 liter 350, but this time it's an LF9 diesel V8. What? Why? Anyway, so transmissions, we got both a 3-speed and 4-speed automatic. Not automatic. Well, so Bell's got a 3-speed and 4-speed manual, and then we got the 3-speed and 4-speed automatic, the Turbo Hydra automatic gearboxes. Dimensions, not so much for it, just the wheelbase at 2974. So 2974 millimeters, 117.1 inches. Okay, starting off, the next one is 1978 to 1981. So here we go. a new trimmer, El Camino was unveiled in 1978. So unveiled in 1978, adopting the apologies for the sound. There's just a fan going on because music cooled down. It's hot in here. Anyways, a new trimmer, El Camino, was unveiled in a new trimmer El Camino, was unveiled in 1978, adopting the new more sharp-edged Malibu styling. So Malibu styling and a 1-inch longer wheelbase of 2974 millimeters, 117.1 inches. The front end sheet metal and doors were shaped with a Malibu, and the rear bumper was shared. With the Malibu station wagon. For the first time, though, the El Camino had a unique chassis. It was shared with no other Chevy. The front end featured a new single rectangular headlight design. The base engine was a 3.3 liter 200 V6 that developed 95 horsepower. Except in California, where to meet emission standards, the 231 Buick motor was the base motor. Two upgrades could be ordered: either a 5 liter 305 V8 with a 5 liter 305 V8 with 145 horsepower, or a 5.7 liter 350 V8 with 170 horsepower that was only available in both El Caminos and Malibu station wagons. It wasn't available on Malibu passenger cars, with the exception to both coupe and sedan Malibu 9C1 cop cars. So the cop cars. The El Camino trims started. the El Camino trims started with the base model, then the Conquista means conquest in Spanish. If it was, for example, like conquer, it would be conquistador. So conquistador. Because that was when they exported the El Caminos to Mexico. Because El Camino means the road in Spanish, I believe. But when they exported the car to Mexico, they changed the name to Conquistador. So Conquistador, which means to conquer. I learned that from the Top Gear USA episode, when Adam Ferrara was driving an El Camino, and Relish Wood Relish Wood was in the 90s Honda del Sol when they were doing the paintball challenge in Keel Hill, just outside of Los Angeles. Anyway, so the El Camino trims started with the base model, then the Conquista, meaning conquest in Spanish, which mainly consisted of a special paint treatment, and finally, the SS. The SS, which was the sports model available with 6-cylinder and V8 with V6 and V8 motors. Chevy later offered a Black Knight model in '78, which ended production after only 1,200 examples were 1,200 examples were produced due to legal problems with the rights holders over the use of the name. This model featured a large hood emblem of both two dragons and a knight, and would be both reworked and relaunched for '79 as the A.K.A, so the Royal Knight option for SS models. Following its debut as a redesigned new size model in 1978, the '79 model received minimal changes. So the 1979 model received minimal changes, which amounted to a little more than a new divided grille. However, a 4.4 liter small block 267 V8 joined the options list and slotted between both the standard 3.3 liter 200 200 Chevy V6 and the optional 5 liter 305 small block 4-barrel V8. The 5.7 liter 350 V8, the 5.7 liter 350 small block V8 developing 170 horsepower was again available. Both 3 and 4 speed manuals had floor shifters. The A.K.A option for the SS debuted. The 1980 El Camino started out the 80s with few changes, though motor choices were shuffled a little bit. The base V6 displayed 230 cubic inches, up from 200 the year before. Horsepower increased from 94 to 115 horsepower, so that's like 20 horsepower or so more. Optional again were a 4.4 liter 267 V8 with 125. Optional again were both a 4.4 liter 267 V8, so 267 V8 with 125 horsepower, and a 5 liter 305 V8 now with 155 horsepower, so decreased by 5 horsepower. The 5.7 liter small block 350 V8 with 170 horsepower offered in 1979 was dropped. A 3-speed floor shifted manual was standard, but most got the optional 3-speed auto. The 81 models received a new horizontal tube grill. So horizontal tube grill the 1981 motors. So the 81 motors mostly continued from 1980, but now used GM's Triple C or CCC, Computer Command Control emission system. The base 3.8 liter 229 well 230 V6 made 110 horsepower. So the base 3.8 liter 230 well 229 V6 so the base 3.8 liter 229 well 230 V6 made 110 horsepower, decreased from 115, so just 5 horsepower down, as did the California only 3.8 liter 3.8 liter say 3.8 liter as did the California only 3 as did the California only 3. The California only 3.8 liter 231 Buick V6. Optional motors were the 4.4 liter 267 V8 with 100. So optional motors were the 4.4 liter 267 V8 with 115 horsepower, and the 5 liter 305 V8 now with 150 horsepower. The 3-speed auto added a lockup torque converter to aid highway mileage. Okay, next up we got is the 82-87 version. The 82 through the final 87 El Camino Sport. So the 82 through the final 87 El Camino sported a new frontal appearance. Say the 82 through the final 87 El Camino sported a new frontal appearance with a crosshatch grill. So crosshatch grill flanked by quad rectangular headlights. Now under the hood for 1982 was a 105 horsepower 5.7 liter 350 now under the hood for 82 was a 105 horsepower 105 horsepower 5.7 liter 105 horsepower 5.7 liter 350 diesel V8, which was also offered in Chevy's full-size cars. Though mileage with a diesel was commendable, it was an expensive option and would eventually amass a dismal repair record. Gasoline engines, so petrol motor choices were unchanged, so they still remain the same, apart from Chevy's 3.8 liter 229 V6 was now standard in California bound cars, replacing Buick's 3.8 liter 231 V6. In 83, a year later, the 4.4 liter. So a year later, the 4.4 liter 267 V8 was gone, leaving the 5 liter 305 version as the only optional gas V8. The standard motor was again Chevy's 3.8 liter V6 with 100. So Chevy's 3.8 liter V6 with 110 horsepower. Though California cars once again got a Buick V6 with similar specs. Continuing on the options list was the 5.7 liter 350 LF9 diesel V8 with 105. So continuing on the options list was the 5.7 liter 350 LF9 diesel V8 with 105 horsepower. The sister Malibu sedan and wagon were the sister Malibu sedan and wagon were discontinued after the 83 model year. The Royal Knight package was also discontinued in 1983. The 83-87 El Camino was also offered as a cosmetic conversion through selected dealers, completed by Choo Choo Customs Incorporated. so Choo Choo Customs Incorporated of Chattanooga, Chattanooga, I can't pronounce it correctly, Tennessee. Mods included an aerodynamic front end, similar to the Monte Carlo, SS, side exhaust skirts, and aluminum wheels. The conversion also included the addition of SS decals on the exterior of the body. However, the majority of El Caminos sent for customizing weren't actually SS's. That distinction was only obtained by ordering the SS Sports Decor, or the SD, so the SS SD option pack from the factory, which carries an RPO code of Z15. For 1985, GM shifted El Camino production to Mexico, and the new 4.3-liter 262 fuel-injected V6 became the base engine or motor through 1987. El Camino production ended quietly in late. So El Camino production ended quietly. El Camino production ended quietly in late '87. Some model year 87s, such as the 420 El Caminos and the 325 GMC Caballeros, are listed as new car retail deliveries in calendar year 1988. So in calendar year 1988, based on their date of first retail sale. Speculation in online forums indicates 3GCCW80H2H. So speculation in online forums indicates 3GCC W80H2H S915586 may be the final vehicle. The GM, so General Motors' Media Archive / Heritage Center confirmed that no 1988 El Caminos or Caballeros were ever produced. Okay, so we got the production of the 78 and 87 cars. So starting off with the first one is 1978. So total production was 54,286. That's total production. El Camino SS's were 12,027. Now we got so 79. Total production 58,008. El Camino SS's 11,371. 1980 we got 40,000. Total production 40,932. And then we got at the El Camino SS 5,444. Then we got 81, 36,000. So 36,711 for total production for the SS. 3,769 for 1982 we got total production 22,732 as a total production. For the SS we got 3,207, so 3,207 for 1983 we got total production 24,010. El Camino SS 2,914 for 84 we got total production 22,997, close to 23,000 if you had an extra 3. For the SS is 1,309. Roundhouse almost 1,310. For 1985, total production was 21,816. So total production was 21,816. El Camino SS was 1,198, close to 1,200 SS versions. For 1986, total production was 21,508. So 21,508. So total production for 1986 was 21,508. For the SS was only 996, close to 1,000 if you add an extra 4 to it. And last but certainly not the very least, we got is 1987. So they sold for a total production 13,743. Say 13,743. And for the SS we got 861. Next is the South Africa versions. I'll be back.